Hello, everyone. Today I'm here to talk about dosing, to talk about energies, and even to help you to start to think in an energetical way. Okay, so I prepared here some PowerPoint to help us to understand these better. So what I have here to share with you. So let's go to understand in what is this about? What is dosing? What is the work with dosing? Here I'm going to share with you that for me helped me to work with the dosing and with the energy when I have the capacity to go and explore different perspectives about energy. So I just threw myself in books of quantum physics because for me it's quite important that things make sense, and because I'm not just a believer, I'm not someone that someone can come tell a beautiful story and I believe it straight away. No, for me the things needs to have an explanation. And another aspect that is very important for me is the fact that I have to experience to see how it works. All right. So I'm not here talking from a position like, let me try to convince you. No, it's not about to convince you. I'm sharing what I learned, and then you can take this information as you want. So things that help me to understand better the energy was the notion of energetic field, morphic field, and the Hermetic laws. Here in the energetic field, morphic field, one thing that was quite easy for me to really start to understand how the things work was this notion of torus, because so the torus is these green, okay, these green lines, let's go put it in this way. And this is connected, of course, with our attraction field. And I have one more information for you, that this attraction field is also connected with our karma, okay? And here, what we have karma, okay? And I'm bringing here the concept of karma connected to the family. And this explains why some people, they say something like, oh yeah, my dear, you choose that family, so deal with it. And of course, many of us will get very, very upset with the story because we don't like the idea of so many conflicts, so many heavy stuff, heavy business to deal with. But in the reality, it's about the same frequency of energy that made you connect, okay? And this karma that I'm bringing here, also connected with previous lives, it's about the same story, the frequencies, the same frequencies of energy. So one thing here that I would like to start to open is this dichotomy between karma and dharma. So dharma, it's connected with our surrender to what happens. Karma, it's about the consequence of resistance. It's when something happens to us and we don't like, we get very, very, very upset about what is going on. So let's go together. When I see an event in my life that frustrates me, how I deal with that frustration? Do I store it as resentment? Do I store it as disappointment? What I do to release it? Maybe you never thought about that aspect. But remember, when you are annoyed with something, if you access to your state, if you are paying attention to your body, straight away you understand that your heartbeat is different. Your body agitation is different. Okay? If you are in love, your body movement is different. Your emotion is different. So this is always something that we are facing. Okay? And this is the reason, because many times we don't understand how the things happen and how we are and how we manifest even some diseases if we don't have a notion how we are storing the emotions in us and some limiting beliefs that are in us, and we don't have a clue. If we don't know what they are, of course we cannot release them. This is very simple. Now, that karma that I mentioned there, that is connected with the family, I want to share an example with you that is my personal example for you start to understand how the things work. So in my case, in my family, my great-grandmother, she married with my great-grandfather to replace her sister who had passed away. The vibration can be connected to something like, I am not good enough because I am not the first choice. Okay? This kind, okay, of energy feeling, it's connected with rejection. One of the pains that was hardest for me to deal with was this pain of rejection, because it's not just mine, it's in my family, and also it's in all humanity. So when we are looking to our pains, we have to go with some softness, in the sense that, okay, there are a lot of traumas till I arrive here. I can be a chance to solve these, but yeah, I can face a layer, and then I can face another and another and another. So this is something that I believe that it's important for you to look, because yes, there are things that are lived by us, but they are just mirroring something bigger, okay, from our past. And then when we are talking about the karma in previous lives, I also want to amplify here the vision, because as I said, it can be about to look at the evolution of humanity. So it's not just about my family, but about all the humanity. An example that I would like to bring here are places that we visit and we have a resonance with our energy. And here I can share my experience when I visit Tunisia. I don't have a Muslim background, and when I arrived there, every time that they were calling for the prayers, I was starting to cry. And it was not just when they were calling for the praying. I found myself crying all the time. I became really emotional in there. And I'm aware that other people in other countries, in other places, they have this experience. So let's go put these in different ways, and then you can believe in what you want. I'm going to give you some options, and then it's up to you. So you can see this situation as you are just catching the energetic field of the place. because all of us, we are kind of sensor, and sometimes we can attune better with some kind of energies, and can be something that explains that. So in that place, you just resonate better with the morphic field of that place. Another thing that can help you to understand this concept of picking up the energies is the moment that someone is going in the street and suddenly feels, no, we cannot go by that road, no. And you just take another road, and later on you are told that something bad happened in the road that you avoided. So again, your body is picking up the energy around. Regarding even the situation that you are picking up this energy and this resonance. So it's like the energy in there resonates with mine. Remember that when you feel happy, when you feel sad, when you feel disappointed, this has an energy. It's not something that you know something, oh yes, I'm disappointed. You don't have your body neutral to the disappointment. You don't have your body neutral when you are in love. Your body is doing something, okay? Your brain is producing some neurochemistry that then is activating your body accordingly. So when you are catching the atoms in there of happiness, sadness, it's okay, because it's like also these atoms belong to you. This information is in the field. So it's something that we are just being transformed all the time. Now, another aspect and another point of view that I want to bring about these previous lives and these frequencies of energy, it's like in the example that I was in Tunisia. Oh, I had a life here. I had a life here. So this is the understanding that the soul is the same and is just taking other bodies and is traveling. Anyway, because some people is really against this point of view, because of course we know that in regressions of past lives, we have many people saying, oh yeah, I was Cleopatra. So what is explaining the fact that so many people sometimes appear saying with the same information that they were the same? So what is this about? So the soul of Cleopatra is everywhere? Not really, but what supports that vision is when someone dies. Okay, let's go talk about Cleopatra. So when Cleopatra passed away, her body deteriorated. Okay, so everything deteriorated in such a way that again they were just atoms, and then these atoms, molecules, this information, okay, with these memories from Cleopatra, then by vibration, they connect to another molecules of someone else, okay? They come together and they create another person. However, this explains why someone in Portugal says that, oh yes, I was Cleopatra in a past life, and you have someone in Norway saying that they were Cleopatra as well. So they have, let's say, the same molecules that belong to Cleopatra, so they can access to that information. more things that here I believe that is important for you to have a more amplified perspective. When we are talking about soul, there is a perspective that says that soul is the result of our emotional body, okay, and our mental body. So emotional, the part that feels, okay, that process the emotions. The mental body is the part, of course, connected with the things, with the thoughts, with with our logic, with our judgment, with our limiting beliefs. So this is what can be seen as the soul. Now, here, what I want to bring here, let me go back just to show you here better. So the Torus starts here in the heart. And I would like to bring here the notion of the higher heart chakra, okay? And this high heart chakra is connected to the thymus, that is the place where lives our true self. So, for example, when I say you and me, okay, I point always in the same place. So just let me see if you can see better here. And here it's where lives the true self. So it's exactly at the level of the thymus. Let's go now to understand one thing. When my heart is suffering, when I face a trauma, I put a layer. And this is the layer that avoids that I reach my true self. So many times we are struggling to, but who am I? What I want? Why do you think that people are struggling so much? Because many times even they don't know what they want, who they are. And it's because they cannot access to this true self because of layers of traumas, okay, of blockages that just stop that we can reach this true self. One thing that I also would like to mention is the heart chakra has a goal and is to work our five senses, okay? The smell, okay, the taste, the touch, with the seven sins or the seven human instincts, okay? For example, gluttony, okay, envy. So these seven sins and these five senses, they have to be worked in the heart chakra. If you sum up the seven sins with the five senses, you have 12 petals that are the number of petals of our cardiac chakra. So in here, what I bring is this example of manifestation of a illness. So here I'm bringing the psoriasis. And as example of psoriasis, I'm bringing here what emotionally can be the cause. So can be the feeling of being manipulated or trapped, and the thoughts that can be feeding this feeling manipulated and trapped are thoughts like, I am not a good person, I deserve to suffer, I deserve punishment, I am guilty, I can't do it. So here again, let's go to this Torus. If I'm feeling trapped and manipulated, so here it's in the level of the heart, okay? So it goes out. This means what? That I have here people around that manipulate me, that don't allow me to make my choices, okay? So I feel trapped. And because of that, okay, I may feel that I deserve to be punished because here I'm feeling manipulated and trapped. So when I feel this, what I do, I punish myself with this psoriasis. Because if the other says to me, no, you cannot do that, I may desire to do something, but then I may feel guilt because the other gave me a lot of opportunities, made a lot of efforts for me, and now I do want to do something else. But I cannot control myself because in the meaning that they continue to manipulate me and to don't allow me to do my things and what I really want, I see them as invaders. So I have to put my skin working, okay, to protect me about these invaders. And if I scratch and if my skin looks bad, make them step back, okay? So this is an example of what happens with the Torus. Another thing that is quite important. So when I say, okay, I'm going to use my skin and look, this is totally a subconscious process, okay? No one gets these things consciously. No one is waking up in the morning and tells to himself, I'm going now to get psoriasis to solve my life. No, this doesn't happen, okay? Anyway, so when I say these people are here manipulating, this comes back. So this thing that I'm going to create this barrier in my body through my skin, it's also a vibration of manipulating, okay? Because it's like I'm going to manipulate the condition of my skin to see if they stand back, if they don't like how it looks like, and they leave me alone. Yeah, and in this way, I may not feel trapped. However, as a subconscious process, it's creating more problems in the physical body and in the emotional body and in the mental body for the person that is creating these emotions and these thoughts. Okay, so now let's go talk about the Hermetic Laws. In here, I'm going to give the examples of the Hermetic Laws, connecting with the dosing, connecting with the energy, to expand the point of view and what can be worked with. Mentioning here that I work with the dosing board, so I'm going through the spiritual part, okay? So I have a more spiritual approach. Many times in the dosing, they just focus in the electromagnetic field, okay? The electromagnetic field is more about exactly what can be seen or understandable, doesn't go so far away. Anyway, let's go try to expand the perception, because ignorance is our enemy. So the principle of mentalism, the all is mind, the universe is mental. Here, I'm going to take the concept of limiting beliefs for you start to understand this better. I would like here to underline that these limiting beliefs, sometimes they can be approached, let's say, in different boxes. However, they are never from very different boxes, okay? Because we can see, of course, a perception that it's like, oh, I developed this limiting belief when I was a child, okay? However, as I said before, the family that helped me to create that limiting belief is connected with me energetically. So they, if they could do it, it's because this kind of limiting belief, it's in their system as well, okay? So going in this way can be seen as inherited by our ancestors, yeah, or a limiting belief that belong to the collective, the religious beliefs, if I believe in past lives, or if not, look at this, it's just a belief. If someone teach you since a child that there are past beliefs, you believe in past lives. If you were raised somewhere where it's not to believe in past lives, you don't believe. So again, it's not about the truth, it's about a belief. And here, of course, in a wider point of view, these limiting beliefs are exactly something that it belongs to our human evolution, okay? Let's go bring here to be easier to understand what is written here. So limiting beliefs that need to be faced in a level of human evolution is I am a victim. This is a big one, okay? Then this can include what? I am misunderstood. I am not lovable. Easily, all that happens because of someone else. So when you are a victim, it's very easy to find in your speech that you had this problem at work because you had an argument before with your partner. You cannot go on holidays because you are feeling guilty about your mom issue. So everything is a consequence, okay, of someone else. You may think, not really, because in my life, I just have issues with my dad, or for example, with my boss. It doesn't matter. It's not just at those levels, because when you have issues with your boss and then you come to your partner to complain to your boss, okay, you are reinforcing this limiting belief, okay, that you are a victim with your partner. Then you are complaining to your friend and you are complaining about your boss. And why did this? And because of him, I'm having these issues and I'm tired. Look, again, you are being a victim. And other kind of limiting beliefs that you can find easily in your system is I am not enough, can be also perceived with a limiting belief that it's about limited money. The fear that appear like, then I don't have enough money, or the money can run out, or something that is missing. So easily you find yourself in the failure, in the missing, in something that you are never complete. Your life is never complete. You are never satisfied with the conditions that you have. You never find a state of feeling yourself like I'm complete, I'm full. You don't have this. So these kind of beliefs that are about limitation, that you cannot have everything, that there is something missing, is creating a reality also where something is missing. I would like here to explain with one metaphor, the idea of limiting beliefs. Imagine the reality as a big cake, okay? And then imagine that the limiting belief, it's like a knife that cuts the cake and just cuts a slice. So the limiting belief says, okay, the reality is just this slice of cake. And you cannot go beyond. This is the reality. Okay? So you cannot see something else that can clash with these limiting beliefs. I'm going to give you one example. Sometimes the story, the universe is mental, invites us to go to try different manifestation things, affirmations, rituals, and all this stuff. And sometimes when we begin, we can understand that actually it works. At some point it works, okay? But then we get very disappointed because suddenly it doesn't work anymore. Why? Because it's facing, okay, the edge of your limiting belief. So after that point, even if your mind wants a lot, deeply inside, you don't believe that it's possible. So it doesn't go further. All right. And here in the edge can be a limiting belief, like I'm not enough, I don't deserve this. Or I have a belief that if I have a lot of money, I have to work a lot and I have to suffer a lot to get a lot of money. Okay, so this is the reason, because the things don't manifest, and how the things can be so short view when we have limiting beliefs, because it's like, for example, in relationships, you desire a partner with a lot of characteristics, okay, and suddenly you can find this partner. However, this partner, for example, suddenly just says, okay, I want to break up. And why is this happening? Many times because this partner is just showing that you found the edge, okay, of your limiting belief. That can be something like, I don't deserve really to be happy in an intimate relationship, okay? Or also can bring the reality of your deep truth that you are starting to vibrate, or because it's vibrating in a trauma, it doesn't matter. But if you have inside a kind of, I want to be free, and I want to be very independent, and I cannot imagine myself constrained by a relationship, this will be exactly the rhythm that will manifest that reality. So then this partner can go away, because in the reality doesn't fit with what you are projecting from your heart. Okay? So now, where are we going to then next? And the next is the principle of correspondence. Okay, so as above, so below, as below, so above. In other words, also what happens in the micro happens in the macro. So translating this for an energetic understanding. If inside, okay, I feel that I do not trust myself, Hmm? These will be reflected in my life, okay? Because remember, life is bigger than me. So if it's bigger than me, more things, more situations, more people will show me this. And what happens? I betrayed. I'm betrayed by friends. I'm betrayed by partners. I'm betrayed by work colleagues. So, and why this happens? Because when we are vibrating in such a level of energy, we are also going to a place that is compatible with this energy. So if I'm vibrating that I do not trust myself, I have to go to a field, okay, it's an attraction field, it's a morphic field, where the lack of trust, it's like a rule. And this lack of trust will bring betrayal. So until I deal with this betrayal that I do to myself, I'm still in that environment that reflects that betrayal with myself. Okay. So, and then for example, I can think, oh, the worst is much worse than me because he created a situation and he betrayed the wife. I never betrayed any partner, but he's my work colleague and he betrayed the wife. Okay, so check yourself. How you betray yourself? How many times you disrespect yourself? How many times you change your plans to please someone? How many times you don't acknowledge your need to sleep and to rest because someone invited you to a party and you cannot say no. So this is something that it's to invite you to think more what we have now, the principle of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. Here I'm bringing the map of consciousness because I think in some way it can help us to evolution. How this works, okay? So if I'm feeling guilt, okay, and guilt is here, okay. If I'm feeling guilt, I can have such a level of guilt that I can start to have insomnia because I'm thinking about what I did and I don't sleep. So if I'm not sleeping, as you can understand, my brain waves are agitated. So they are moving faster. Now let's see. The planet Earth, okay, the heartbeat is 7.83. When I'm more agitated, I'm very far away of the 7.83. So when I look at this, I can understand that more agitation in my emotions, in my thoughts, more misalignment I have with the planet, okay? And the planet also has a morphic field, okay, as Torus. So if I don't have this attunement, I'm feeling much more drained. I'm feeling always after something. Again, as I say, something is missing and this happened and I have to fight and I have to react against this and I have to see what I can do to go back. Because remember, guys, we have a kind of fixation with the past, okay, for the good and for the bad. For the bad, because of course it can be connected with a trauma, or suddenly you start to learn more things about what could have impacted you to have this that is creating your life nowadays, and then you look to your past and say, I had a miserable life, and so many things failed, and blah blah blah. So you get attached, okay, to the pain, and then you get attached again to the past when something new comes to your life, but you don't want to open hands from your past. You continue attached to that past. And if you want something new, you have to be open to release. See one thing, everything is in movement. Life never stops. If you perceive this, that everything is in movement and life never stops, you really catch a great panoramic idea about how the things are. This means what? We are always dealing with something. If I am stuck in traffic and if I get angry, my brain will produce neurochemistry that will activate all my body. If then I meet my partner and I'm happy about to meet him, another neurochemistry is produced. What kind of emotional state and thoughts I do have? This will make me move through different energy frequencies. So what I vibrate will be the result of this movement. This is the reason, because when we are very, very attached to the past, okay, I cannot forgive that ex because he was unfaithful, he humiliated me, a big story. So I cannot forget what happened after 10 years, okay? So where do you think I am, okay? Here, for example, in the map of consciousness, I can be in the level of the shame because I could have felt you really humiliated. Or, for example, here in the anger. So this is the reason, because if there are things in our past that we still remember and we still talk about them, look into that, because this needs to be released, okay? For your mind, for your body, for your emotions, for everything. Don't get it stored or stuck in yourself, because sometimes we get so attached to tell a story, because we start to identify with the story. We start to say, oh yes, I had this experience in my life and this is me. We start to identify with our past, and the past is not us, okay? The past is an experience of facts that happened, and they were experienced by my system. And is this interaction that allows me to release more easily or not the memories that I have from my past. Okay, so don't forget about this aspect. Here, one thing, how can I ensure a better vibration? So when I calm down, yeah, my brain waves, yeah, they calm down. So a state of calmness, it's something that can be worked out. Remember, I mean, this Hermetic law, even the planet has a vibration. So remember, the vibration is also a rhythm. So what is repeating in your life? What is the pattern? What is the pain that is vibrating more and more? Because more an event, more a trauma repeats, more is screaming to be released. Because remember, if this is happening, it's because it's in the shadow. And here I'm bringing the concept of shadow as something that we are not aware, and is in our subconscious. So if it's in our subconscious mind, is there. And well, we know already that everything that is in the subconscious mind has a lot of power and strength. So if it's stuck there holding the trauma, this energy is not available for you. It's not available for you to enjoy life, because it's like a vital energy, okay, that is kept there to keep the pain under control. And if it's there, it's not available for you. So sometimes people, they say, oh, I'm very tired, or I find myself procrastinating a lot, or sometimes it's like I just want to sleep. Why that? Sometimes it's about a protection of a pain that is not being looked at. Okay, so let's go be responsible for our well-being, and not play the speech of, oh yes, I'm like this because my dad was abusive when I was a child. Yes, your dad was abusive when you were a child, but now you are an adult, and you are the adult that you have to look after yourself. Okay, this is about self-responsibility. Okay, so now what are we going to see? The principle of polarity. So everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same, opposites are identical in nature but different in degree. Extremes meet, all truths are but half truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. So here, this one sometimes confuse people, but here I'm going to bring an idea and the concept to see if it becomes easier to understand what is this about and how we can observe it. So I'm going to share here the notion of being proud, okay? And here I would like to point that you can observe this, for example, with all the 7 human instincts. The 7 human instincts are also defined as the 7 sins by the Catholic Church. So, for example, gluttony, envy. So these wrath, these are the 7 sins. These are the human instincts. So, in the reality, how is this working? If my pride is too much, so it's quite high, this is the reason because I have here the scales, I can exhibit a behavior of arrogance. I think often that the others should please me or make me a favor. Example, I am busy, so you are the one that needs to adapt to my schedule. Okay. Also, I can approach someone that is a professional, and I'm interested in her job, but I think that I quite know already a lot. So I'm going to her and I can tell her something like, you know what, I have these studies and these trainings. So I would like to ask you a discount in these studies that you are delivering. Look, my proud is too high. Because look, if I want to learn with that person and I'm putting myself in a position that she needs to give me a discount because I'm important since I did this and that, my pride is too high, okay? If my pride is lacking, so I am the one adjusting my schedule to please the other every time. So someone needs a favor, some needs a help, and here I am totally available. This shows what? A very low self-love and low self-esteem. Here, also, it's like giving the example of the studies. So all the studies, all the professional specializations that I achieved, it's like they are not enough. They are like nothing. I don't feel that I'm capable or I deserve some kind of recognition. Or I think that it's nothing special. So I don't have really a good perspective about my process, about my development. Okay, so this is the proud lacking. The conclusion here is when we are balancing emotions, thoughts, we need to remember about this notion of balance. Because as you could understand, some people may need an energy more focused in arrogance to balance the pole where they are. That is exactly the lack of proud, okay? The lack of pride. Okay, now let's go to another Hermetic law, okay? The principle of rhythm. And this principle of rhythm, I'm here with the example of the patterns that happen in a gap of 7 years. So it's important to look many times what happens 7 years before of a traumatic event, because can be a repetition of the same vibration of energy linked to that trauma. So perceive the work of dosing also into the perspective to amplify the energy. So when we are working with dosing, in my perspective, it's quite important to amplify this notion to see where is the energy of the trauma, how is this working, for how long is working, okay? So this is a resume of the principle of the rhythm that says everything flows out and in, everything as it starts, all things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. So here, another Hermetic law, the principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes to the law. Here I'm bringing the notion of karma and dharma and thoughts and emotions that manifest the reality. So as I mentioned, or psyche when we are talking about thoughts and emotions. So here to talk about karma, for instance, people sometimes without a story, they can manifest a panic attack. And because it was something so unexpected and also so difficult to predict after you have one, they live in this threat of when is this going to happen again? Or in another way, when I am going to be attacked again. And I'm changing here a bit the sentence for you to go further in the subconscious mind. Because as I mentioned before, the karma can be connected to your ancestors, to your family. In this example that I gave, I'm going to share that this fear can be result of someone from your family who was raped or assaulted in the past. So can be a possibility. Now the notion of dharma. So dharma, it's the good karma. As I said before, the things that we do with pleasure. For example, help a stranger because in that moment we felt it from the heart. Sometimes, you know, we are going out and there is someone that we feel it, that to that person we have to do something. So this is an example. Also can happen when we losing a job and we surrender to the situation. Here, let's go pay attention. I don't mean that when you lose a job that you just cross your legs and you don't want and you don't go to search for a job, okay? I mean, if the job left your life, okay, you should ask to yourself, what is the new opportunity that is coming in my direction? What is this new that I can embrace? If in the case that you do not surrender, because of course we have fears, we have insecurity, we usually, when we enter in the field of the fear, we start to complain. We complain about our work colleagues, what they have done, and of course, we just start to react with resentment, with fear, with blame. So this is what you are going to cause to manifest in your reality. So if I'm complaining about all this stuff, this resentment, so remember about the Torus that goes from the heart and goes outside. So blockages inside of me, okay? Blockages outside of me. So the reality is there, full of blockages. And now what we have, the principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. So here I'm bringing 2 lines to resume these energies to understand what is going on. So masculine, father, creation, action, fire, spirit. Feminine, surrender, attraction or synchronicity, water, and soul. So when we are talking about energy, and we have the female and masculine fighting, okay, and balanced, we have to look at different things, okay? So the masculine and the feminine inside of the person, okay, that usually it's connected with the relation that was established with the mom and with the dad, okay? And then also to look what the person is doing, okay? Because action, okay? What are the actions? What is the person doing? Sometimes when the person is doing too much or is reacting a lot and wants to do and produce and go, this imbalances the fire inside of her. So it's not a coincidence that people that are very busy and doing everything and even they don't sleep to go to work and to create more, they explode easily. You see the outbursts, okay? These explosions are showing us that this person has the masculine very, very active and is not in contact with the spirit, okay? Because the spirit is masculine, all right? Then when it's about the feminine energy, if the person is totally doing, it's because she doesn't believe in nothing. She doesn't surrender. And when she doesn't surrender, she's working so much, her emotions are just being stored. You see this water, so this water is not relaxed at all. And the soul, of course, will struggle a lot, because remember, as I said before, soul, it's about mind and emotions. So then the person disconnects about herself. She doesn't know who she is. She doesn't have orientation to follow her goals. What is the direction? And when we are talking about what is your life purpose, what is your mission, the person even feels more lost, because she detached totally, the most part of the times, from what she's feeling. She stopped to reassess how her body and how she feels. So here also, what I would like to bring more to work with the dosing here in my case, because I work with a quantum dosing board. So I work with comprehensive octaves for all our systems, the physical body, emotional body, mental body, spiritual body. Usually the other dosing doesn't include the spiritual body, okay? When we are talking about tables for the physical body, can be about the organs, like I have here, that has the different organs in there. So then you confirm through the organs the yes or no, if the problem is there. So the stomach, the kidneys, the lungs, and so on. Also, you can have a table for the systems to understand if the issue is in the metabolic systems, if it's affecting the urinary system, and so on. Again, the yes and no. And also you can have a table about the endocrine glands, left adrenal, right adrenal, pituitary gland, and so on. When we are talking about physical, we can also have tables for the environment, because sometimes we can understand that the energy, the imbalance, the unbalanced energy is in the place, can be in the office, can be in the house, can be in the bedroom of the couple, for example. Energy of people, because we understand that is in our workplace. However, let me tell you one thing here, because I know that many times people start with the dosing by curiosity and let's go do it and so on. Here, be careful when you work with energy of people, because if I'm working in a company, okay, and I understand that in there, in the department where I work, there are people in there that the energy is not good, I cannot, okay, work with dosing to balance the energy of these people, okay? Because if I'm doing that, I'm being an intruder, okay? I'm being an invader of that energetic field. And if I'm being an invader of that energetic field, I'm inviting invaders for my energetic field, okay? All right? How you can work with people if they ask you, or if, for example, you do it, you can say to the person, look, I work with energy. Would you like to work with me? Just if the person agrees, okay? If doesn't agree, don't go search for problems, okay? Thank you. Even about intimate relationships, it's the same, okay? If you understand that your energy is affected because of your partner, don't create stories, okay? You can work with your energy. Even if it comes from your partner, talk to him. You ask him, hey, do you want? Yes or no? It's very simple, okay? Because if you are not respecting the free will of the other, this also will open for another energetical entanglements, okay, that then align for example, with things that have the same frequency, dishonesty, something that is not saying the truth. So you are going to entangle your energy with this kind of frequencies, okay? So this is not just working for the others in the bad sense. This is working for yourself. So permission. If it gives permission, perfect. If it doesn't give permission, don't touch. Familiar relationships, the same. But if he's my daughter, it's the same. The daughter needs to agree. What are the exceptions? If, for example, your partner, your daughter are in coma and you are the person responsible for them, you can do it. Or you can ask someone to do it, okay? In this case, yes. Or for example, your child is so young, doesn't talk, you can do it, okay? However, if the child can talk, let's go imagine a child with 7 years old. The child can talk, you ask her, okay? In case that you want to do it or you want someone, a professional that works this with the child needs to give permission, okay? So this is the main idea. Now, what can be in tables for the emotional body? For example, the fears. Here, it's quite important to have a perspective of the different kinds of fear that can happen, okay? Because the fears sometimes are in a layer, the person can understand, yeah, I feel fear, but sometimes it's so hidden that doesn't know exactly what kind of fear it is. One thing that can help you is to look through the kind of fears that can appear. And this helps you when you talk to the person, okay, to get practice and to see what are the kind of patterns. I'm sharing here some examples. For example, the fear of being exposed, of being humiliated, the fear of being a failure, the fear of becoming a mom, the fear of success, the fear of a tragedy. If I get everything that can make myself happy, the fear of being sexually attractive, the fear of lack of money, the fear of looking dumb when with a partner, for example, insecurity, guilt, shame, jealousy, abandonment, rejection, self-sabotage. So try to understand your tables in case that you are working already. What kind of things are acknowledged in there? More things that can be understood in the emotional body. So in my case, again, because as I said, I work with the quantum dosing board, so the karmic trauma, the collective trauma, the individual trauma, if it's caused by relationships, family, professional, intimate, so that's it. Collective trauma as an example, for example, people that were in the country and faced war. This is a collective trauma. Karmic trauma, as I explained before in the example of the panic attack, that can have a story in the family of being raped or assaulted. More things here, what we have in the table of the mental body. So when it's about to balance the energies from the thoughts, what can we have? We can have a lot of ideas that are connected to perfectionism, okay? And perfectionism, don't forget about criticism, comparison. Also, what gives strength to to the mental body. The studies, it's like if I just studied biology and I didn't study the emotional impact in the body, I cannot have an understanding and an acceptance that emotions can affect the functioning of the organs. Okay, inheritance. I'm going to give you an example. A grandmother that was hypochondriac, and when I say hypochondriac, if you don't know, it's someone that has a symptom and thinks that is a big disease. For example, feels a pain in the liver and thinks I may have cancer in the liver. So this grandmother was like this, and suddenly has a granddaughter with the same kind of concerns. So again, this information is in the mental body and is in the energetic field of that family. The beliefs that can be very, very different, since I'm a burden, I am not enough, I am not worthy, a world. And then the logic. The logic is quite interesting because logic is exactly focusing in the things that can be seen and that were learned. If we're not seen or learned, there is a void to understand. So when it's about logical ideas, are people that have big issues with flexibility. Uh, they have issues to believe in a lot of things, but usually because also they didn't get information about that. And also they look a lot to the things that can be seen to justify how it happens. All right. One of the examples that I wrote here is I must be better in my studies, for example, to ensure that I can be appreciated. So it's like, if I do this, I will get that. Usually these people, they struggle when the things don't happen as they supposed. And usually this is the real world. It's quite common to happen. And now what we have, so I work with a table for the spiritual body that, as I mentioned before, I spoke about karma, dharma, because we have processes that can be about karma, that can be about dharma, can be about intrusive energies. And here at this moment, maybe some of you are saying, okay, enough, I'm not going through this. Let's go to take it easy. Many times people, they see these intrusive energies like the ghosts, like the bad spirits, like this kind of perception. I'm going now to give you another perspective about intrusive energy. What can be an intrusive energy? The one that I say to you, that if you think, oh, no, I'm going to help my friend needs help because she's not responsible and I am the one that works with those, I'm going to help her. So let's go to work with energy to help my friend. Even if the intention is beautiful, you are being an intrusive energy in her field. Okay, you don't know anything about her process. Maybe she needs to face and deal with that process without any intervention from energies. Okay, another aspect that can be seen with intrusive energies, for example, the mom that is phoning very, very often to the son to understand what is happening, what is going on. Did you eat? Did you not eat? Oh, you had a fight with your wife, but what happened? Oh, and maybe if you want, I can help you and I can support you and I can cook for yourself. And this is what? She's invading also his energetic field. But he's a son, doesn't matter. He's invading the energetic field. because he's an adult, okay? And also, you have to remember one thing. Every time that you are not respecting the free will, the choice of the other, and you are not giving them the possibility to be responsible for themselves, you are an intrusive in the other's life, in the other's field, okay? Now, again, magic works. Another one that kills many minds. Let's go to work this as well. So sometimes when people listen, magic works, they start thinking voodoo and black magic and all this stuff. Let's go to put it simple. Magic word can be something that can be done by ourselves. Giving you an example. Sometimes you can see some women that faced several relationships that failed, and there is one day that the woman just says something like this: you know what, I'm done with this, enough. I don't want any man in my life. Even if someone pays to me, I'm not getting married. And the time goes on. And then this woman later, when she forgot about what she said, and no partner, no relationship, no one. And what is this? It's what we call a self-black magic, okay? So you don't need to believe in that someone is going to pay someone to do something to another person. This is about energy. So it's about our thoughts, our energy, and how I explained to you before with the Torus, how it works. So this is just something that you can feed in your energetic field. Another thing that can be seen in this magic work, it's what we call even unconscious, how this happens. You have a fight with someone at work, and you lost your temper, and you decide that enough, and you humiliate that person, okay? When you humiliate that person can get very angry at you. She can create such energy against you that she's creating an energetic, okay, attack to you. Again, this enters in your field if your field is not strong enough, okay? This is always the rule. So go through the things that can happen, okay? Don't look at the things like, oh, I'm a victim, someone did this to me and they pay to someone and this voodoo. Hey, easy, okay? Let's go to calm down and be more reasonable and understand what can happen and even how we can do it to ourselves. And as I say, the other situation, the person can stay very angry at you because you humiliated the person, but the person even is not conscious that she's doing this to you, okay? She doesn't have like the intention of creating something in your life. So let's go be more reasonable and more logic and more adults when we are approaching energies, okay? And to finish, here I'm sharing how I work my own body sensitiveness, my body awareness, because what I believe to work with dowsing is like the pendulum, okay? It's my extension. So it's like my body also needs to be like a pendulum. So what I do personally, I practice the state, the alpha state, okay, through meditation. Again, important to just calm down the brain waves. Then also, of course, self-development to help me to get body awareness. How I do it? In my case, through systemic psychotherapy, okay, especially through the circle of life, because in there, it's we are catching the field all the times, the energetic field, and I have a group. So if you would like to experience about what is the morphic field, you can have this experience in the circle of life. You don't have anything to lose. It's really something that you can really acknowledge the experience in your body. And then also what helped me, my knowledge in human design system. In my case, I'm a generator. I'm guided by my gut feeling. So this means that very often I have to search the answers of yes and no. Even if someone asks me, it's better to ask me questions that they are yes or no, because in this case I have the chance to go through my body to understand how my body is reacting, and if the gut, let's say, says yes or no. So this is what I would like to share with you, because for me it's important to really start to share knowledge, because I think it's a moment that many information is out there. Many people take advantage because many knowledge creates a lot of confusion. And here I'm bringing it this way to see if also people look at things in a different way and with more openness. I'm not here to convince anyone, but at least take some books, go search, um, do something, okay? Have a good day, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.